At the core of what all of us do is our culinary backbone, right? Like it's our spine. It's the thing that everything comes from.
And welcome back to my channel for professional chefs who aspire to elevate their leadership skills and culinary programs so that they can lead, mentor, and teach the next generation. I'm Gerald Ford, a certified master chef with almost 30 years in the culinary industry, spanning world-class restaurants, hotels, private clubs, and international competitions as a cook, manager, leader, trainer, and coach. In this video, I'll discuss what a culinary backbone is and how you can develop yours.
At the core of what all of us do is our culinary backbone, right? Like it's our spine. It's the thing that everything comes from. Sometimes it's a culmination of different things, but what I'm really speaking to is directly, like literally have a book that embodies the majority of what it is that you cook and how you do it. Based on the cuisine you cook, is there a book that you turn to more often than not? Like in your office, is there a book you go to? Totally external. Like do you reference the table book, like a book like that outside of yourself that you reference? Like if this is where your inspiration comes from, and if this has building blocks to reach what you're trying to achieve, a backbone is in place to support the fundamentals that you have, right? Because I'm sure you have some recipes, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that you do that don't necessarily have recipes assigned to them yet. Let's use like a really base product. So for example, ghee, right? I'm sure you have a process, but it's probably more of a casual process. Like this is how you make ghee. In Dishoom, do they have a process for making ghee? What I'm talking about is having something that reinforces what you do as a point of reference. What you could hypothetically do is assign this as a textbook or give it to your team as a textbook and have them reference the process you want them to follow. It supports you in your decision making. So if your sous chef is on the same page as you, then you guys are looking to the same source. Like it just brings you back to a common point of reference. And that's what I'm talking about when I refer about a culinary back. I've gone through a bunch of different books, but I now use the Institute Paul Bocuse book, which is fundamental Western European cooking, because I make stock in a European style. I learned French cooking. I know American. I can apply American regional. I don't want to send somebody to the internet to Google risotto and then come back to me with boiled basmati rice with whipped cream folded into it. And I realize the error of my way, but I want to be able to send them to a book that follows my thought process on making risotto. So I can give them the page in the Institute Paul Bocuse and have them go there, or in a culinary textbook, or you know what I mean? Just something that's representative of you and how you cook. That way there's support, and that way you have control over where people are getting their information from. More and more what I see in the world that we're in is there's too many options. It's unlimited options. It's like the Wild West. You send somebody to research something and they have literally the knowledge of the internet. It's unvetted, right? And you're at risk of them learning something that you don't necessarily want them to learn, because there's just as many bad sources as there are good sources. People making an aioli that doesn't have garlic in it. That's impossible, but there are people on the internet that teach an aioli as strawberry, lemon aioli. Aioli, the French word for garlic is it's a garlic sauce first. A backbone is a way for people to very easily, very predictively be able to follow along. And I think having something like that to fall back on also makes the gap of building it faster. If you're talking through dishes, if you're talking through process, and that's something that you identify with, you're going to find yourself much closer, much faster. Books could be 20 years of a career wrapped up in 200 or 300 pages. What better distilled information than that?
What I found is that structure is the cure for chaos. As executive chefs, we often have a vision that we see, but others can't. And I think that's okay. A key to closing that gap is having structure to support your process. And that can come from leveraging the documentation of someone who has documented a culinary program that you respect. A chef I used to work with, Drew Garms, used to say that we all stand on the shoulders of giants. And I think he heard that from Rich Rosendale, who may have picked that up from Peter Timmons. Again, we all stand on the shoulders of giants. And I would add that it's important to embrace that fact that we stand on the shoulders of giants. Just vet the information that you pick up and implement those pieces. That's going to buy you time to build your own, or maybe even realize that you don't really need to. To me, editing and evolving are infinitely faster than starting from scratch. Follow the clues that success leaves. If you find videos like this useful, please like, share, leave me a comment, and subscribe for more. Leave me a question, I'll be happy to answer it. A culinary backbone is one piece of the puzzle. It's a foundational piece of the pillars of Beyond the Food, mise en place for the executive chef. If you want to work on the implementation of the 5-pillar approach and learn more about defining and strengthening your culinary backbone, click the link in the video description so we can chat. Thank you for watching, and remember, a strong backbone is key to healthy operations.